Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Agent's Edge. My name is Ryan Polimeni. Today we're going to talk about using annuities for Roth conversions. Now, again, I want to err on the side of caution. This is where you start getting a little bit more advanced in the advanced market space. So before you start kind of diving into giving advice on Roth conversions, the first thing you have to understand is how Roth conversions work and what are they. Right, so when you take a Roth conversion, it's taking traditional money, meaning pre-tax money. We call it qualified money, right? Old 401, or current 401k, old 401k, whatever, pre-tax, traditional. And you're going to take that and you're going to convert all, don't recommend it, or a portion of this money, and you're going to convert it over here to a Roth. It could be Roth IRA, Roth annuity, IUL. Wherever it's going to go, it's going to build on a tax-free basis. Okay, so why would somebody do this? Number one, because all this money is fully taxable. When you make that transaction, that is a taxable transaction. So if I have $100,000 and I convert my $100,000 to a Roth, I'm going to pay state and federal taxes on that transaction. So this is why you got to understand what you're doing when it comes to tax planning, because this is one of those things where you could really mess somebody up. And I'll give you the extreme case in a second. But let's say, for easy conversation's sake, that person is in a 20% effective tax rate. I mean, they're going to pay 20% on their federal taxes because they fall within the marginals and whatever, right? So that you're moving $100,000 over to a Roth. That Roth is now going to be $80,000. Now it's $80,000 if they withhold the tax from that transaction. So there's two ways to do it. You can withhold the taxes when you make that transaction, or the client can pay the tax out of pocket and the whole $100,000 moves over. That's an important feature to understand and know, because when we talk about the carriers and the annuity companies that allow you to do this, the majority of the carriers, and I'm not going to say all of them because it's not true, but a lot of the carriers that will allow you an internal Roth conversion from their qualified annuity money to a Roth annuity that you open inside, most carriers do not allow you to withhold the tax. So you have to pay it out of pocket. Now again, I'm not going to go through who does what. That's irrelevant. Just understand that you have to understand your products and the carriers that allow you to do what. There are some carriers that you can withhold. There are some that you cannot. You have to pay out of pocket. Very, very important. So step one, and when you're using Roth conversions, is to understand the carrier's way of doing things. Because you don't want to tell a client, yeah, we're going to move $100,000 and we just have it withheld, and then they find out you can't, and they go, no, you're on the hook for $20,000 out of pocket. You are not going to have a very good day. That client is going to be furious with you, right? Because you just create a huge taxable event that they can't handle. So you have to understand the ins and outs of these Roth conversion processes and really the way that they work, okay? You have to understand taxes here. This is why tax planning at this level is a real differentiator between you and a lot of your competition, because most people aren't talking about it. You hear me talk about this on this channel all the time. So understanding the carriers and their products and what allows it and what doesn't plays your first role. The second thing is understanding the tax implication of that, right? Because again, I'm going to give you an example. I had a client that attended one of our seminars, and this client had $1.6 million of total assets. The majority of it, 1.2 million of it, were in qualified funds, meaning pre-tax money, has not yet been taxed. Every penny that comes out is fully taxable, okay? The advisor she was working with did not understand taxes. They don't do tax planning. As a matter of fact, they even told her, I can't give you tax advice, go see a CPA. Okay. Because the CPA and the advisor are clearly not on the same page, right? I mean, that blows my mind. But anyways, this client, by taking that crappy advice of, and he said, just go ahead and convert $450,000 of it. She converted $450,000 in one shot. She didn't need to. She's only 62 years old. She has to 75 for RMD problems, right? But at 62, she converted $450,000. So that did a few things. Number one, she was already a six-figure income earner. It bumped her to the highest tax bracket as a single person. Bumped her to the highest tax bracket. She lost over 37% in just federal taxes. Then she had to pay state taxes. She got hammered with taxes, absolutely hammered with them. Okay, so terrible decision to make because she got terrible advice. So you've got to be careful, because here's what else happened. She's going to get Medicare, and those type of transactions will be a thing that screws up your Medicare Part B. Because why? Because Medicare Part B especially is based on your income. That threw in the highest tax bracket. Her Part B is going to go through the roof. So she was pissed, and I don't blame her, because when I got to her, I told her, like, this is how we would have done it. This is how we do things differently. But this tax component is so important. But why would somebody want to do Roth conversions? Well, fully taxable, tax-free. You start drawing money from here in the first 5 years in your tax-free Roth bucket. For the first 5 years, you can touch principal, not interest. No big deal. After 5 years, everything, the growth, the money you put in is fully tax-free for life, okay? Number two, you die, this money goes to your family tax-free. This money over here in the traditional, you die, leaves a tax liability for your family. The third thing, and the most important thing when we are designing cases for a client, traditional IRAs, 401ks, annuities are all subject to required minimum distribution at age 72, 73, or 75. Okay? It's a silent killer of people's retirement. And the ability to help somebody early on by doing a slow drip from one to the other, and eventually when they get to the point of RMDs, if they can have the majority of their RMDs not even be a factor. Why? Because if somebody has $1 million and it's all traditional, and maybe they only need $10,000 a year from their 401k, but guess what happens? The IRS says, your RMD on that's going to be $40,000 a year. So now they have to take out $30,000 more than they need, and they're forced to. Think about what that does for your clients' tax problems. So again, how to use Roth conversions using annuities plays a really big role, because for people who love safe money, they don't want to be in the market, they don't want to open up a Roth IRA because they don't want to take risks, this is a great opportunity to take safe money with growth annuities and convert it over to a Roth. But you got to know your products, and you got to know taxes. Look, this is all important stuff that if you're going to build your practice to the next level, if you're going to be a $10 million a year producer, these are the strategies you need to know and implement immediately in your practice. Hope this is helpful for you. Thanks again so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe, like this. Hey, share it, and leave us a comment if you did like it. We'll see you on the next episode.